Hi, I'm Robin Pearson. I'm the owner of A Friend Indeed, and I want to thank you very much for inquiring about our services for your loved one. Before we set up our call, I just wanted to pass along some information that I share with everybody who has started with us about what A Friend Indeed is, what we are not, and our processes. So you've reached out to us because you have a loved one, and most likely you are the primary caregiver for that individual. That means that a lot of your time and energy is spent with this individual, which is fantastic and good for you for recognizing that you can't do it all yourself, that you need to have a support network around you on this journey. Part of that support network is a companion service like A Friend Indeed. Friend Indeed is a service that provides companionship and in-house non-medical support for seniors. So we are a resource for the family who cannot be there at all times for their loved one. We have regular visits with your loved one. And before visits start, what we do is we gather up as much information about your loved one as we can. And we do that through our link to the client intake form. After the form is filled out and submitted by you, then you and I will schedule a call to go over that information. We create our client contact information form, or CCI form, and that form is carried on the visiting friend's body each and every visit. So that way they know an overview of your loved one's medical and allergy situation, what their interests are, what their preferences are, what do we stay away from in terms of activities or topics even. So we want to learn as much as possible about your loved one. It's sort of like a fast track to a friendship. And it helps us in determining our approach, our suggestions, and even our conversations that we have. Just sets everybody off on the right foot. So as mentioned, A Friend Indeed is non-medical. So if your loved one lives in a care facility, then our protocol, if there is a medical emergency, is to contact the staff and let them know any details that they would need to know that led up to that emergency to help them provide the care that they need. If your loved one lives in their own home, then if there is a medical emergency, our protocol is to phone 911 and wait for EMS to come. So a little bit about our visits. Our visits are regularly scheduled. The communication will be between the friend and the family, or the senior if that's the appropriate person. So we find that it's more fluidity, it allows for less downtime, and we are able to keep the consistency of our visits. Your loved one will be matched up with the same friend, so then that way they can build up a real relationship together. And sometimes it does take some time, but real relationships are formed. And the friend will get to know your loved one a little better, and your loved one will get to know their friend. And there's some wonderful things that have happened over the years that we have been in business. So very excited about that. Quite often, particularly for those individuals who are wanting multiple visits during the week, is we'll assign a secondary friend. So for a couple of reasons, one, so that way, if the primary friend is needing to step away for holidays, for example, your loved one is already introduced to their secondary friend, and the visits can continue on seamlessly. The other reason is having the variety of two different personalities, two different individuals, helps expand your loved one's world a little bit more. We are not a cookie cutter service. This is not a one size fits all, which is why we spend so much time gathering up the information about your loved one so that our visits can be tailored to them. And by having more than one regular friend provides that added variety and extra interest for your loved one. And we have found that that has been very, very successful. Our visits are a minimum of 2 hours. They can be longer, and a lot of people do find that between 2 and 3 hours is a good length of time for a visit with their loved one. Having said that, certain circumstances do require longer visit times. For example, if we are taking a senior out to a doctor's appointment, we all know and we have all experienced that doctor's appointments can take a longer period of time. So to accommodate that, we have an open-ended visit, which would need to be prearranged. This would include travel to and from the doctor's appointment, and of course, staying with your loved one during the appointment time. Now, we can accompany your loved one into her appointment, and we can take some notes of what was said from the doctor or specialist. So then that way the family and your loved one has these notes to refer back to. Another example where a visit would be much longer than 2 or 3 hours would be for overnights. And for overnight visits, we would need to speak directly to you to find out the details of what you are looking for. This allows for true respite for the family, particularly if they are needing to go out of town for reasons. So one question that I get from a lot of different people is, what do we do during our visits? And my answer is always the same. It depends on the individual, which again is why we gather so much information about your loved one ahead of time. We are looking at what their current abilities are. We're looking at what their interests are now and what their interests have been earlier in their life. I call it looking for gold. And what that means is, what are some interests that your loved one has or had that for whatever reason is not in their life currently? And we like to look at how could we get that back into their life in some form or fashion. And we have had great success over the years in asking that question and using our creativity and really a little bit of trial and error. We get wonderful feedback that helps us point, that helps to point us in the right direction as to how your loved one would really enjoy their time with their friend. With some individuals, our visits are focused around more practical activities, things such as getting groceries together, or going to a doctor's appointment, or getting out of the house because they no longer drive. Those are more practical reasons. For some individuals, our visits are centered around more entertainment. I often refer to it as gal pal, particularly if we're visiting a senior lady, or just a pal if it's a gentleman. With those visits, it is a break in their day. It could be a break from boredom. It could be a chance to explore and be a little creative, to be able to express themselves in a way that maybe they don't have as many opportunities available to them when we're not there. We are an advocate for the individual who are living in a facility or even in their own home. Each and every interaction that we have, whether it's an in-person visit or a friendly phone call, we'll send a visit summary to the family. And this way you have an ongoing record, an account record of what we've done together, and if we've noticed any changes. For some individuals, the visit summaries from week to week or visit to visit may not be very different, and that's fine. But if there is a change, boy, does that ever stand out. And for individuals who are living with dementia, and if there is additional decline or additional behavior start to surface, we can bring that to your attention. We can bring that to the attention of the care staff and pass along any information that we can to you in our visit summaries. It helps to keep everybody all on the same page because it's all focused on your loved one. Families have shown great appreciation for getting these visit summaries. Some have said that they've used them when they're having conversations with the doctor, making care decisions from. Just knowing that there is another person, another set of eyes and ears even, that is available to the family. The visit summaries make it very, very easy for you to keep other family members who live at a distance in the loop, keeping them updated, helping them to feel more included in the care of their loved one. So it's been very, very successful, and we're very happy to do that. The people that we are interested in hiring have submitted a police check with vulnerable sector. They have submitted a driver's abstract, so we know the type of driver they are and have been. They have provided proof of vaccination, and they carry the proper insurance on their vehicle to take somebody out. We have training in two forms. We have our new team member handbook, which includes all of the experiences that we've had over the years. I created that even in the early days when it was just me doing the visits. I knew that I wanted staff, and I wanted them to be empowered in such a way that they know what a friend, capital F friend, is and what a capital friend is not, and to be able to make decisions within that framework. The other part of our training, when we are able, and this would apply to existing customers, is job shadowing. So having the existing friend job shadow a new hire the new hire is able to observe and interact with the senior. But it's a more natural introduction for the individuals, and it allows for some questions and answers after the visit is over. And it's been very successful in the past. So we have great, safe people who are bonded and who are a part of a friend indeed for all the right reasons. And that's to bring enjoyment, enrichment, and a little bit of goofiness to our visits, to your loved one, and to you, the family. And it's an honor to do so. I look forward to speaking with you to learn more about your loved one. Thank you very much.